5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking third day of November. And I just went through Halloween. And it was Halloween day that we had a call that one of our friends was in the hospital. He had an enlarged kidney. And we went to see him and we brought him a bag of Halloween candy. And we gave it to him. And then I saw on the board that he had a diabetic diet that he had to be on. So I said to him, and just so you know, this is Doug. Doug has Down syndrome, so he's sometimes you got to explain things to him. So anyway, I said, "Oh, Doug, you can't eat that candy, but you can give it to the nurses. That's okay." And he was very happy about that until the nurse identified himself as Ted. Then he was a little disappointed. All right, but anyway, diabetes is such a serious thing, and I never knew that an enlarged kidney could be a symptom of diabetes. So we're going to have it explained to us. Our good friend Lauren Debick always brings us some great guests, and Lauren is the manager of marketing communications at Ocala Health. And good to see you, Lauren.
Nice to see you too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Good. Your hair looks beautiful.
Oh,
as
yours
always.
too. Thank you.
Mine too. She always.
I know she compliments you all the time.
All the time. Yeah, but she's lying. And then Amy Freeman has been here before. Amy's so delightful, and you are kind of a specialist when it comes to diabetes. And let's see, what does it say here? You're a certified diabetes educator with Sodexo.
Yes.
Am I saying it right?
Yep.
At Ocala Health. So good morning to both of you, Lauren
Thanks,
and Amy.
thank you.
And Andy is your husband, right?
Yes, he is.
Rock musician, right? Like
Yes.
a Christian rock guy. He came in here and did his music for us. Yeah, that was cool. Very good.
He doesn't play it for me, though.
No?
No, I always envision he sit around, sing songs to me, follow me around the house as I clean. Doesn't happen.
Oh, really?
Oh, gee. We got to send him a note.
So let's talk about diabetes.
Okay.
Can we give ourselves diabetes by eating too much candy?
Well, it's a little bit deeper than that. I mean, that'd be
That's
an
a dumb
easy way to
question?
say it. No, it's not a dumb question
Okay,
at all
okay.
because statistically, the more we eat, the bigger we get. And the more weight we have on our body, the more likely we are to have diabetes.
Okay.
If you want to say it in a nutshell, yeah, that would be true.
Okay. I remember last time you were here, though, we were asking you something, and the answer was walking. So walking seems to be a good thing to do if you want to prevent diabetes, right?
Yeah, not just prevent diabetes, but prevent some of the complications that go along with diabetes, like
Some of the
kidney
things.
disease and high blood pressure.
So
Eye
diabetes
disease?
and kidney disease go hand in hand, huh?
Well, if you think about what diabetes is, it's high blood sugar. And that blood sugar travels through our blood. And everywhere our blood goes, it's going to have that high blood sugar, and that can cause issues in our
Okay.
body because that's not normal. And the body knows it's not normal, and it causes some damage.
Is sugar? Like sugar like you get out of a sugar thing, white sugar, is that the same thing as sugar from a peach or sugar from an orange?
It would be the same kind of sugar if I had like coconut sugar and brown sugar and white cane sugar, maple syrup. The body's going to recognize all that as sugar. The types of sugar that's in fruit, it's still sugar, but it's metabolized in a different way, so it doesn't promote obesity like the other refined sugars would.
Okay.
And now when you use the word diabetes, it's like using a generic term because we learned from you there's type 1 and type 2.
Yes. So primarily type 2 diabetes is more influenced by our lifestyle. The current statistics from the International Federation of Diabetes, they're reporting that up to 70% of type 2 diabetes can be prevented by a healthy lifestyle. Now that 70%, that's around 160 million people.
Wow.
So does that mean that because you always hear these reports that we got heavier as a nation. Mm-hmm. In fact, I saw this story the other day that in the 1930s or something, early on in the 20th century, there was a group of people who wanted to recreate the Civil War. So they went to this costume place, and this place had the exact same uniforms that were worn in the Civil War. And none of them could fit into them because from the 1860s to 1935, what was that? Maybe 40, 70 years is all it was. But in those 70 years,
Wow.
we got heavier than we were back in the mid 1800s.
Wow.
So diabetes probably wasn't even around back then.
Well, you wonder how long did they live? Was their life expectancy like it is today?
You're probably not, right? I don't know.
wouldn't think so.
When you talk about the different types, is one type fatal and the other one isn't, or are they both
No,
fatal?
they are both serious, and both of them need to be taken seriously and be treated, typically with a healthcare provider, and not going to a supplement store and trying to supplement your way out of it.
And can it be hereditary? Because I know my cousin Jody, she was 12 when she was diagnosed with diabetes, and I don't know what type she was, but that was way back when you had to give yourself the shot. And she was very thin, very active in sports, and all of a sudden there it was. She came home from the doctor. He had diagnosed her with that.
Wow.
They do link both types of diabetes to genetics, but when we get more specific to type 2 diabetes, there is a genetic component, but the current mainstream thinking is the environment is what really promotes what's called gene expression. So what we eat, how we live, that can like turn on the diabetes gene.
Oh.
So if we follow one type of pattern of lifestyle, that can promote the onset of diabetes. But if that same person maybe follows a different track of maintaining a healthy weight through walking perhaps, then maybe their diabetes gene is not turned on, or it's turned on much later in life.
So once it's on, you can't turn it off? You can't reverse it?
I would say you can kind of put it in remission,
Oh.
but not really cure it, type 2.
Oh, okay.
Because again, you can, if the blood sugars are being impacted by extra weight and the extra weight is removed, sometimes blood sugars will come back down to normal.
Oh, okay.
So can I ask you to scare our audience? I want you to tell them, those who have not been diagnosed yet, if they are feeling this, that, or the other thing, that it could be diabetes. Just scare us a little bit. All of us, yeah.
Okay, well, the hallmark symptoms of type 2 diabetes is going to be frequent urination, excessive thirst. And when I talk to folks who are just recently diagnosed, and I'll ask them, were you having excessive thirst? They describe it as they are always thirsty.
Oh,
They
really?
could just drink. I had one fella said that he would drink one of the large Gatorade bottles, and he'd still be thirsty. So he would drink another one, and he'd still be thirsty.
Wow. And if he's drinking that much because of diabetes, and he's drinking a sugary drink, Gatorade is a sugary drink, right?
Right.
The type he was choosing was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're actually making the problem worse.
But he didn't think he was.
He didn't know. Okay.
Because, again, most people don't think Gatorade is real sugary. They're out there. He was a construction worker doing some work, just guzzling the Gatorade to keep the electrolytes going.
Right.
So, again, he didn't know. He thought he was doing what was necessary. And so of course, when you urinate more and you drink more, you're thinking, well, I'm urinating more because I'm drinking more.
Right.
Or it's hot outside and it's Florida. And so those are the two hallmark symptoms, really, is excessive thirst and excessive urination.
Okay.
Can you donate blood if you are diagnosed to be a diabetic?
That I don't know. I don't see why you wouldn't. I know they might, for like surgery purposes, they want your blood sugar well controlled, and they might put off your surgery if your blood sugar is not well controlled. But I don't know about the blood.
Oh, okay.
So what is it that makes it go up and down? Like when you see people taking their readings with the blood test, what exactly do we do that makes it fluctuate?
Well, it might be the activity that we do that might change it, make it fluctuate. It might be what we're eating. Poor sleep habits impact blood sugar levels. Tobacco, alcohol, that impacts. But the primary thing that most people have issues with is the eating.
The eating.
Yeah.
All right. If you have any questions, you are invited to call. We're going to take a little break. It looks like the music is going already. Amy Freeman is here with Lauren Debick. We're talking about diabetes. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Thursday, a mix of clouds and sun. There can be a shower in spots along the coast during the morning hours, the high 80 to 84. Clear to partly cloudy Thursday night, low 60 inland, 66 on the coast. On Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 81 to 85. Saturday, partly sunny and breezy. There may be a shower, high 77 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Experience Christmas at Gaylord Palms, presented by Fujifilm Instax, November 18th through January 1st. Enjoy spectacular holiday decor, dining, and entertainment, including ice, with an all-new theme featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas, Cirque Dreams Unwrapped stage show, breakfast with Charlie Brown and friends, Alpine Rush snow tubing, and much more. It's everything Christmas in one extraordinary place. Tickets and overnight packages, including priority extra cool hour admission to ice, are on sale now at Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Christmas time is here, and this holiday season, Gaylord Palms puts a brand new twist on a Christmas classic. It's Ice, presented by Pepsi, featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas by Charles Schulz, November 18th through January 1st. See the whole Peanuts gang carved in over 2 million pounds of colorful ice, including Snoopy's decorated doghouse, and dancing at the holiday play rehearsal. Your awe-inspiring experience concludes with the wonder of the nativity in ice. For tickets and packages, visit Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Hi, I'm Big Daddy Don Garlitz, asking you to support adoption by purchasing a Choose Life license plate from your county tag office. You know it costs a lot to give a child life. Many times a woman is forced to make a bad choice because of financial pressures. Help save the lives of the unborn children by aiding women who choose life instead of abortion. Take a stand for life. Purchase your Choose Life license plate today. For more information, go to chooselife.org or call 352-624-2854.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
There's so much about this topic I don't know. You know what I do know? I do know that if a doctor tells you should do something, then you should do it. That makes sense to me, right? Amy Freeman is here with Lauren Debick, and Lauren, of course, has invited Amy to be with us. Lauren from Ocala Health, and Amy also from Ocala Health. She's a diabetes educator. You talk about this all the time.
I do.
So we ask questions that you answer all the time. Same exact questions, right? They come up all the time. One thing I wanted to ask Lauren about, and I know Robin mentioned it off the air, to give the number, because if we scared somebody into thinking maybe they have diabetes, maybe they should call somebody. And you've got a cool phone number.
We do have our health hotline number. It's 1-800-530-1188, and we have registered nurses on call 24/7, so they can answer any of your diabetes questions that you have. They can also refer you to a physician.
So yeah, call that number, or maybe you know somebody else. Maybe you were listening and say, my husband is thirsty all the time, and maybe he's not going to call because that's the way we are. All right. So you were talking about support groups. Mm-hmm. So once you've been diagnosed, once you're going through it all, there are support groups.
And it's funny you should say once you're diagnosed, because my support group, it happens once a month at the Senior Wellness Community Center, and yesterday we had 4 people in our support group who did not have diabetes.
Really?
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
And so if they tell me, they say their name and then they'll give a little blurb about themselves usually, and they say, I don't have diabetes. I came here to learn, or I came here to support my husband who didn't want to come.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
It's fascinating because it's a support group even for people who don't have diabetes.
So why do we need support? I mean, is there an emotional thing that we need to hear from other people, like how they're doing it or how they're handling it?
Again, I'll pull an example from yesterday. One gal came and she was recently diagnosed, and as we were doing our introductions, one of the other ladies who's been coming maybe a little bit over a year, she says, you know what, I was you a year ago, and I was overwhelmed, and I was scared. And this is how I felt, and this is what I did. So the neat thing about a support group is you get support from someone who's been there and done that.
Wow.
And the difference between that and someone like me, I have book knowledge and I have experience behind me. I don't have diabetes.
Yeah.
So to tell you what it is to live with having to check my blood sugar and having to take medication every day, that's not me.
Is it more predictable than cancer? For example, if you're in a cancer support group, somebody who says, I was where you were last year and now I'm all better. I mean, that anything can happen in the world of cancer, it seems like. In diabetes, if I was where you were last year, and if you do what I did, you can be where I am now. It seems to be more of a...
And it really wasn't a therapeutic, here I am now. It was a mental.
A mental thing.
Here I am now. Now after having diabetes, after living with diabetes type 2 for a year, I am more comfortable managing it. I'm more comfortable taking my blood sugars. I'm more comfortable knowing that the actions in my lifestyle are going to impact certain things. So it's not necessarily a therapeutic. It's a lot about diabetes, much like some of the other long-term illnesses. It's about accepting and coping.
Today we have these wristband things that'll tell you how many steps you've walked, right, and how many calories you've burned. If you take your blood sugar in the morning and it's not so good, can you say, okay, well, then I'm going to walk 10,000 steps today, and can you actually see the results? Like if you take your blood sugar
You could.
again?
And a lot of folks do.
Really?
Yeah. Because, again, if we're doing moderate physical activity, that can help lower blood sugar. But if you take your blood sugar just out the same time every day, that doesn't give you a real good idea of what your blood sugar might be.
So what is this? Okay, years ago I worked at an assisted living facility, and I brought a gentleman to buy a car. And while we were out going to the car, he said, oh my gosh, I got to go get a candy bar or something, and my blood sugar's up or down, whatever he said. I thought candy bar. I thought that's not supposed to be with a. Well, anyway, so that's what he did. I stopped. He got a Hershey bar or something. And, I feel better now. What is that? I mean, is that really a solution to the problem?
That's poor planning.
That's poor planning.
To put it really cruel and unsympathetic. Poor planning on a few different ways. If you know you have diabetes and you know you take certain medications, one, you should know how that medication works. So you know, am I at risk for having what sounded like low blood sugar or hypoglycemia? If I know I'm at risk for low blood sugar, I should have with me at all times a way to treat that. Preferably not a Snicker bar. Something like a glucose tablet that you can get at any pharmacy. That would be an easier, quicker, more healthful way to manage the blood sugars.
Yeah, because if you're hunting and you're in the woods and you have that problem, I mean, there are no convenience stores around there, so you have to plan.
Right. And it's nice that he told you that I have diabetes, but if you have diabetes and you're living with someone or you have a very close friend, that other person, they should know what low blood sugar looks like. They should also know how to treat it.
Really? What does it look like?
Well, if I have low blood sugar, you can become dizzy, you can become disoriented, you can become, for lack of a more eloquent term, you can be grumpy. You can start saying things that don't make sense. What would be a more eloquent term? Maybe not yourself.
Nasty?
Yeah.
Nasty.
Maybe without the nasty face. Yeah, so that way the other person can say, you know what, you're not acting like you normally do. Let's check your blood sugar, or let's get you some glucose tablets. Because if you take 3 or 4 glucose tablets, that's not going to hurt you. But if you don't do anything, that could possibly hurt.
I get hangry sometimes. Is that the same thing?
I don't know. Do you have diabetes?
Have you ever gotten hangry? You get hangry.
Well, then, and that leads out to eating right. And you said that you have a nutrition workshop.
We do. Where my office is based, we have it's called the Senior Wellness Community Center, and it really is wellness. So in with the diabetes education that I provide, we have a nutrition workshop. Folks can sign up, and basically what we do is we learn how to plan a healthy meal. Also at the same facility, we have the support group. We have nutrition seminars. There's exercise classes there, like Tai Chi.
And where is it? What's the location?
It's the Senior Wellness Community Center, and we are over by the older main entrance to On Top of the World.
Oh, okay.
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 The older, yeah. That's
you
where
go.
you live over that way. Robin.
Yeah.
You live over there.
Yeah. Not in the community. I live west of it.
The roads are
But I
really
know where
wide in
that
there,
is.
like in Utah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
nice.
do you live in there? Do you live in Top of them?
I don't.
No.
But boom, I work like right there. So,
Yeah. So the roads are really wide. Like they're expecting something big to come down the road one day.
they are. It's the golf carts.
No.
Well, when you do these nutrition workshops, I mean, people automatically think you need to have fruit and everything needs to be balanced, but fruit has sugar in it. So how do you steer them into a right meal plan?
Well, you said the word right there, balanced. So, if you eat enough fruit, that's not going to be balanced. So, again, we look at planning the whole entire meal rather than just focusing on one part of it. Because if we're planning a healthy meal because I have diabetes, by default, that same healthy meal is going to help treat or reduce the risk for, let's say, high blood pressure or for cholesterol.
So you have to take all of that into consideration if a person is on blood pressure medicine or
Right, because the
cholesterol.
same healthy nutrition applies to all those long-term illnesses because, again, we tend to separate the body in different components, but really it's all one body.
So how do they actually test to see if you have diabetes? What do they do?
They'll do a blood test.
And is it always? Could it always be positive that you have it, or are there certain times of the day if you haven't eaten, would it look better than other times of the day?
If you've eaten, they just have a different parameter for it. So they just have different range of where your blood sugar should be at certain times of the day.
Oh, okay. So that's how they know.
Yep.
And we can't know ourselves. Like if you went and bought one of those little devices at the pharmacy, could you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I have diabetes all of a sudden? Yeah? What would you look for?
If you're buying something over the counter, you're probably buying an A1C kit. And that's A like the letter A, 1, and then C like the letter C. And depending on that, you can, I don't want to say self-diagnose, but you can kind of point yourself in the direction if you have diabetes. But first, if you suspect you have diabetes, I would recommend making an appointment with your primary care physician. And if you don't have one, call our 800 number and get one, because it's nothing to mess around with.
Can a woman that has diabetes, can she get pregnant and carry a baby full term?
Yes. Yep.
But there's different things she has to do then.
Her physician will probably be a little more aggressive with her blood sugar control because she has a developing baby in her.
Wow.
Amy, you are full of information. Thank you for coming in to share it with us. Lauren, you always bring us great guests. And so where do we go from here? We call Ocala Health?
Call Ocala Health. The number again is 1-800-530-1188, or you can visit our website at ocalahealthsystem.com.
Okay. There was a phone call coming in, but we're kind of... And I went to answer it, but they disappeared. So there's kind of a minute left if you want to ask a really quick question. Other than that, just call the hotline, 1-800-530-1188. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay. Lauren, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having us.
Bringing us great guests. And Amy, good to see you. Say hi to Andy.
I will.
And everybody eat healthy. And we got the whole holidays now we can blame for all this extra sugar, right? We just had a bunch of sugar. Oh my gosh, we ate so much Halloween candy.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went. We had a bunch of it out there and it disappeared. Did you have any Halloween candy this year?
I did.
You did?
I did.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Twix.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Amy, did you eat
Sorry,
Halloween?
Amy.
Of course not.
You don't really. You're really good about not eating candy?
I try and be a good role model. And if I bring
Does Andy
candy,
eat it?
I was gonna say if I bring candy in the house, I know my husband will eat it, and he's at risk for type 2 diabetes, so I try and keep it away.
Ah, okay.
There you
okay.
go.
Well, you're
Good
so
girl.
sweet. Thank you for coming in here. We will be right back.